All right, hello YouTube. This is Ryan coming at you with the quick developer update. The first thing is that ZOA 1.1.1 is here, and it's a small update, but notably it does now work in Logic Pro, which is pretty exciting. Thank you to Here at Bevan for giving me the tip on how to make that work. I kind of thought it was a lost cause, but Here went in and kind of spent a lot of time debugging the issue with his plugin, which is really awesome MIDI tape recorder, and he was kind enough to share with me on Twitter the solution. So, now you can load it up in Logic and it'll run, as you would expect, and it'll generate MIDI. The routing doesn't seem to be super flexible in Logic, so I don't think it's necessarily going to be the greatest experience using ZOA in Logic. But you can if that's something you want to try. I've actually got a video where I show you how to load it up. And I also put out a video on using ZOA with Ableton. You can't load ZOA as a plugin in Ableton, but you can use a standalone app, send your MIDI to Ableton through the virtual ports, and keep things in sync with Ableton Link. And Ableton provides a lot more routing options. So that one, even though you can't use it as a plugin, it seems like it's got some potential to use there. You'd be able to separate out the various playheads and route them within Ableton. So I encourage you to check those out. I'll put those links in the description. The AutoPad 1.9 update seems to be doing well. There is a bug on Catalina, macOS Catalina. I'm slowly kind of dipping my toes into these macOS apps. And for the most part, it's going smoothly, but I am, realizing it's a bit more complicated than it first seems. And I'm realizing that finding this bug on Catalina may actually be kind of tricky. So, that's something I'll be thinking about in the coming weeks. And the main thing I want to show you today is I'm working on some new stuff for ZOA, partly inspired by, the ZOA's companion app that I'm working on, which is called UDA. I won't say too much about it at this point, but it did kind of prompt me to revisit ZOA's pattern control. And what I want to be able to do is give users an easy way to add holds, ties, accents, and various things to the pattern. And when I first made ZOA, I didn't really have ideas for how to do that, but now I do. And I want to show you that, and I want to also get maybe your input as to what you might like to see, in ZOA, as far as I'm calling these things step options. So, I'm going to just increase the pattern here, and I'll show you how, what I'm going to do. So, right now, your pattern can only be eighth notes, but what I'm going to give the people the ability to do is add holds. So now we hear a hold. And maybe we can add a tie as well. And then maybe accents. So I want to be able to give people an easy way to kind of add some velocity variation and a little bit more control over the rhythm of the pattern in ZOA. I'm interested in hearing what other kind of step options you might like to see. So far I've implemented holds, ties, accents, and anti-accents, just so you can have 3 levels of velocity. I've thought about, obviously, probability. I know a lot of people like probability. I've thought about some electron-style trig components where, maybe the step plays the first out of, 2 repetitions or the third out of 4 repetitions. And I've thought about ratchets as well. So I'm interested in hearing what you might like to see. So go ahead and leave that in the comments. I am trying to make it something that is easily and quickly selectable from a list. I don't want to have to display a menu and have the user set a bunch of parameters. I want it to be something that you can do really quickly. So that's kind of my approach. And I know these touch and hold things, I'm getting mixed feedback on that. So in the future, I may make it so that they persist or that there is a way to get them to persist. But right now, I just really like being able to kind of quickly set things. And you do have to hold your initial finger down. And you can even like do it with one hand if you're careful about it. Um, so anyways, step options. Those are going to come in the future. I'm just kind of messing around with it. But I'm interested in hearing like what you might like to see. And again, so just leave that in the comments. What kind of step options would you like to see? Ratchets, probability, electron style, trig components, or trig conditions. But that's what I've been up to. Hopefully you have a good week and are having fun making music. We'll see you in the next one.